Welcome back to Surface Unscripted, episode 128. It's just a normal thing now, Brevan. Just two people on a podcast again, just chatting about our ruggers. I'm just kidding. Brett was on a flight. Okay, so he's on his way home. I'm not even sure where the guy went. If he didn't come to Cape Town, you already know. It's disappointing. Brevan, brother, welcome back. How are we feeling?
Thanks. Yeah, all good, all good. Keen to chat some rugby. I missed Tuesday, obviously, but all good. And Brett's probably traveling for work, but didn't even tell us. And then we get the message now that he's still at the airport, and we're like, we didn't even know you were away.
Storms into places, to be fair. Like, it's just all of a sudden, bang, I'm in Bloemfontein. Bang, I'm in Cape Town. It's just like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, by the way, obviously we're chatting Rugby Championship this weekend. Round 5, kind of a decider, and as well we've got the Bledisloe. I'm not echoing, am I?
No, you're good.
Okay. But people, there's also a domestic season that starts. Now, obviously, we're not going to cover round 1 and possibly not round 2. Maybe round 2, we'll maybe have a little chat about it or whatever, right? But I will link a SUPERBRU in the comments down below. Not in the comments, maybe the description of the video. I don't even know, right? It will just spawn somewhere. It will do a bread. Join the SUPERBRU, do your predictions. You always talk about how shit we are. How about you show us how shit you are? So join the SUPERBRU. Anyway, please do remember to like and subscribe. We do appreciate you guys. I mean, the channel's been going crazy. We love doing this stuff. But Brevan, let's get down to business. Springboks, Argentina. You weren't here for the team reaction. What's your thoughts first and foremost on the lineup of the Springboks?
Obviously, I watched the episode, and I think, like Brett said, I think we guessed that lineup pretty well. Obviously, there was a few things we would have changed, like having maybe Marnie start or something like that. But obviously, no complaints. I think it's a very good team. It's a team that can get the job done. And there will be a lot of people, for example, the likes of Salman Murat, Ben Jason Dixon, Marco van Staden, Rowan Nokia. They'll all want to stick up their hands so that they can retain, whether it's a bench spot or a starting spot in the Springboks going forward when obviously the strongest team gets selected. So there's a lot. Fussie's another one, So there's a lot of people that want to put their hands up and do something for the Springboks and obviously secure the Rugby Championship. So I'm excited. I think it's a team that can cause damage. So I'm excited to see what they can do.
Like leading into this game, I'm really excited to you know me. I love matchups. I love a little matchup. Malcolm Marx, Julian Montoya. I like the matchup of Chocobares and Lucio Sinti against Lucanio Am and Jesse Krill. But a big matchup that I was looking forward to is our Lucies versus their Lucies. And Argentina surprises me. Surprise, surprise. Juan Martin Gonzalez on the bench. Like, if I ever thought they'd switch it up, maybe Marcos Cremor goes to the lock position, which I think is a dreadful idea. Like, if you have Pablo Matera, Cremor, and Juan Martin Gonzalez, there you go. That's your Lucies. But they've put him on the bench. What's the thought process behind that?
So, remind me, we went 6-2, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. I've just got a feeling maybe the Argentinians will also want to have some depth on their bench. And the reason I say that is because we bring in the likes of Eben Etzebeth off the bench. Obviously, Quacker Smith. So they'll need to have their own kind of personnel coming off fresh. So obviously, look, maybe they don't have the depth per se to have the option to put that guy on the bench, but maybe they're hoping their starters can put in a shift and keep it close for the first 50 odd minutes, and then they have their own superstar coming off the bench. So maybe that's the reason. I don't know. But realistically, I don't think Argentina should be doing that. I think they should be trying to win this game straight up.
Maybe he's just there to battle the Quacker Smith effect coming off the bench.
Exactly. You never know. Because obviously we announced our team.
A dog off the bench. I have no doubt he'll still do the job coming off the bench, to be fair.
Yeah, always.
Listen, tell me how sexy is this little battle between Julian Montoya and Malcolm Marx that we're about to have. Finally, Malcolm gets his start. Oh, dude, we've been
It's been
calling
a
for
long
this.
time coming. Flip.
Like, we know he's great off the bench. We know he's the best hooker in the world. But to know that we might just see a little 60-minute cameo of Malcolm Marx, oh, let me bathe in it. Let me soak in it. I love it.
Yeah. Malcolm is. I mean, I've always called for it because I believe Bongi can do the job Malcolm does off the bench. Maybe not necessarily the fetching per se, but I believe he can still add energy when he comes off the bench, which is why I've always just wanted Malcolm to start because I think he is the best hooker in the world. I've always said that since I saw him at the Lions, and I mean, he's just incredible. Yeah, I mean, Malcolm is a superhero. I mean, obviously, I'm keen to see what he can do because obviously he'll be fired up. He had a very good performance off the bench against the All Blacks, and I'm hoping he can build on that because obviously he's had his struggles with injuries in the past couple months or so, and obviously that injury in the World Cup. But no doubts, the guy just keeps on going, and if Malcolm Marx is at his best, I don't care who you put in front of him, he will demolish them, whether they are good or not. I truly believe that. So yeah, I mean, I'm keen for him to get that start.
This is an interesting talking point, right? Because myself and Brett spoke about it. You have Jan-Hendrik Wessels. I needed to do a double take. I was just reading the squad and I saw Jan-Hendrik Wessels, Gerard Steenekamp, and Vincent Koch, and I was just reading it like it's nothing until I realized I just read 3 props on the bench, right? So we know Jan-Hendrik Wessels can play hooker, right? But it's a despicable decision to play Maruka. Like,
not really.
We've got enough prop depth, right? When we talk about the future, you talk about Johan Grobler. Why would you not use this opportunity if you're not gonna play Bongi to play your future hooker? Like, why are we going with Jan-Hendrik Wessels? It makes no sense in my head. While Johan Grobler is right there, he's on tour. Yeah. And even if you didn't want to play Johan Grobler, why don't you just drag Andre Gouvet's ass out there and play him on the bench? Like, why don't we actually play a hooker in his specialist position? Why do we want to try a funky thing of having an extra prop that can play hooker instead of having our specialist hooker actually there?
To be fair, I mean, Jan-Hendrik Wessels only played hooker for the Bulls. Like, that was his position. And it was when Rassie called him up that the prop thing started to come into play. He just wasn't getting game time over, obviously, Johan Grobler and the Angry Warthog. Akke van der Merwe, thank you.
Brevan, you should be ashamed.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I've literally just come back from rugby. I've been busy all day. So, yeah, sorry. That's why I said the Angry Warthog, because I remembered his nickname. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, you're not going to get starting time over those two because those are 2 class hookers. So I get what you're saying. So
are you sure about that? Because he's getting the bench spot above one of them, above both of them.
I'm talking about at the Bulls. But yeah, I think you're right in the sense that why would you not start? I mean, not start, but why would you not put Johan Grobler on the bench? Because realistically, that's where Johan Grobler plays. You know, at least Jan-Hendrik Wessels is doing the double duties thing. Whereas if you want a future hooker to, like, for example, where Malcolm or Bongi retires or whatever, Johan Grobler is going to be at that age where he's going to have to step into the spot, or obviously underneath the Ventus there. But what I'm trying to say is, why would you not use him? So I get what you're saying. I just still don't doubt the job that Jan-Hendrik Wessels can do at hooker, because I know.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, right? I'm not saying Jan-Hendrik Wessels will have a bad game or anything at hooker. That's not the point at all. But we know that that's not the long-term plan. Surely isn't to play Jan-Hendrik Wessels as a hooker moving forward, right? Like, and also, you know that one lineup that, well, mostly myself was so angry with the team that we selected, right?
Yeah.
Because we didn't play experienced boys combined with the young talent. We just threw boys that had no chemistry together. This was the perfect opportunity for Jan-Hendrik Wessels, for Johan Grobler to actually go and play with Oxenchef from the bench, who's got some experience, with Vincent Koch that plays every single game. There you build some chemistry. There he feels what it's like to play with the first team boys, what energy they bring into the scrum and those type of things. Now he doesn't even play, and we're playing second string, part-time Uka at 2. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to rant about it. It's not putting me in a depressing mood. I just think Johan Grobler is so good, and why would you not do that? It just doesn't make sense to me. But another talking point, the final one we'll do on the actual just team. Surprised that Marnie doesn't get the nod? I was very surprised.
I feel like I was surprised, but the more I think about it, it's kind of, you still need, but like you say, Marnie an open player is a fantastic player, you know, and there's no doubt about that. But maybe it's just that blend of experience. You need that leader on the field, and I feel like Pollard is that. But like I heard you were saying, then why not just put Pollard at 12 from the start, you know, which makes sense. But yeah, I really don't know what to make of it, because it kind of makes me think.
That's kind of the fact that we went with and Creel, that we prefer that centre pairing above maybe trying Pollard at that 12 jersey? Do you think that's kind of the statement that we've gone out with, or do you think Pollard plays 80 minutes?
It's between Pollard and it's between Pollard it's so obvious, but it's between Pollard and Creel who goes off. Most likely it's going to be, I can see getting 80 minutes, I'll be real, because he hasn't had 80 minutes in a long time. Pollard, can he last 80 minutes? He probably could, but will he do a good job? He probably would. But like, what I'm trying to say is, Jesse's also played a lot of games, you know. So I'm going to make the call and say Jesse goes off, Pollard goes to 12, and then goes to 13, and then obviously Marnie at 10. I think that will happen.
Yeah.
I think Jesse needs a break. I know he's a physical specimen, but I think he needs some kind of, you know, not a full 80 again, because obviously next week we go again.
Yeah, it all depends on how the game plays out, right? Like if the game's closer than we thought, we want to secure the rugby championship this game. So I'd rather just say, Jesse, go full tank, 80 minutes if you have to. Just make sure that we win the rugby championship, and then maybe next weekend you can chill a bit, right? Because I actually still want to see at 13. Not above Jesse necessarily, but I like at 13. I think he's world class still, you know, and I want to see that combination of Pollard and Marnie given a proper go, just like one game at least, just to see how it plays out. Because I'm still fixed on, like, obviously Sasha is the future 10, right? But I don't think we are at that point where it's like Marnie is just written off. I think Marnie still has so much to offer for us, especially in attack with the system that we want to play. I just want to see it get a go instead of them just coming off the bench. Like, give it a proper go from the start. And if it doesn't work, you can just fix it, you know? So have Jesse on the bench if you want to switch it up, or even Damien Dialenda, maybe a 5-3 split, especially if we have already secured the championship in this final game.
Yeah, I think maybe that's the plan, is obviously having players on the field that you believe can definitely secure you the rugby championship, like having that mixture of experience and obviously the newcomers. But a part of me also worries, like, is there a future for Marnie? Like, is there really a future going forward for Marnie? And where is it?
Not a fixed future. I'd say a future like kind of Alton Yankees had, or like specialist games. Not specialist, but special games, like in terms of, I think if we had to play the likes of Scotland, that would be perfect for Marnie. I think Argentina's game is perfect for Marnie. If you want to rotate it a bit, like those type of games are literally perfectly suited for Marnie. The way that they defend, when you know the game's going to be a bit more loose, or we play against the likes of a Tonga or a Fiji, where they're not so focused on structured defense, that is where Marnie is absolutely deadly. That kind of gives me if you tell Monty, listen, play like you play at the Stormers, especially in that first 2 seasons, he would have a field day with teams like that. We literally saw it in the World Cup. I mean, the guy played like he had absolutely no pressure on him. Because, so I do believe there's still a future for Monty, but not like we saw kind of a year ago. Unless he has a blast of a season at the Stormers, which I actually feel the Stormers might have a decent season. I know people have been writing them off, but I think the contract with the Griquas thing, I know I took the piss about it the other day, but then I thought, like, if you get some of those farm boys and you get them as fetchers and just do dirty work, and then you have the Currie backline, show me the money. Anyway, do you have like any type of nerves for this game? Do you think Argentina have a couple of places that they can actually exploit us and take advantage of us?
Surprisingly, I'm not worried, because usually when you travel there, you do kind of tend to be like, oof, what's going to happen here? But like, just over the years, we've gotten to know Russia and his structures and the team he picks and the team obviously that's on the field. You just get so much confidence in them, which is such a nice thing to have. Like, for example, I feel like they can't get us on the high ball because I feel like Fussie's so good under the high ball. I think Fussie will control that well if that's the way they want to go. Then you have two defensive masterclasses in the backline, and Jesse and I feel like they can shut down attack very easily. You have a beautiful boot from Pollard who can control a game very well. You have Ruan Nokia who can run a line out superb. Malcolm Marks, I mean, goodness gracious me. I mean, Jasper Visa brings the physicality. So, Ben Jason Dix. I mean, we have such a good team on the field that I just feel.
Do you believe that Currie Orense? Do you believe that Currie Orense will have Carreras' number in terms of defense? You'll be able to withhold him from being dangerous.
I just look
That's
back
a
at
lovely
that
battle.
Yeah, it is, and I look back at that World Cup final, and his defense that he did on Rico Ioane, and that just tells me all I need to know. The guy will defend with his heart, and I have full confidence in wherever they try and exploit us, if that makes sense. And obviously, look, sometimes due to lack of, we could say, chemistry, because this team hasn't played often together, maybe they do get a bit of success somewhere, but it's nothing that they can't fix, because I know that they are more than experienced. And I just think I'm really not worried, and that's not a disrespect to Argentina. I do expect a very tight game. I just think with how good the Springbok team is at the moment, I just think they can't lose this, And it sounds arrogant, but we have to back them that way.
Yeah, like I've got three. I wouldn't say worrying points, right? But if I had to think about places where they could take advantage of us, firstly is obviously broken play. Any team can be dangerous in broken play, but if you have broken play and you have the likes of Chikobares and you have Carreras and that what's it? Who was that 10 again that had a scintillating game against the Wallabies? Was it Albatross? Something like that. I can't even remember. It slipped my mind now, right? Obviously, broken play, they will be dangerous. The second one is something that you never see, but you kind of have to bring it up, seeing that we did it literally 2 weekends ago. Can't afford 37 missed tackles. That is unacceptable. Obviously, with 37 missed tackles, somehow we kept the All Blacks tryless. But you can't go every game and say we're going to miss 37 tackles and keep a team tryless. That's not the Springboks that we know. And the final point is the one that I'm probably most scared about is them exploiting us at the breakdowns, where we are like too focused on we want to run this ball, and we saw it against the All Blacks. We don't commit enough guys to actually firstly secure the ball. You want to play your backline, but you got to make sure you secure the ball, right? So we got to be great when it comes to cleaning at the ruck and those type of things. The dirty work, the Ruan Orkia work, the Ben Jason Dixon work, or where the props come in, we have to do that, because if you look at, we spoke about it earlier, their fetchers are probably, or their loose trio, got to be up there as the best, one of the best in the world, if not maybe even the best in the world.
And you know what? I just think Rusty would have definitely worked on that. I mean, I know from experience, I mean, I've had games where you just feel like the opposition is just stealing every single ball at the breakdown or causing a disruption, and it's something that coaches will always turn to the week after, just because it's something you can't not attend to. It's not something that just gets better. You have to work on it. So I think Rusty would have probably just done some stuff in training, and then obviously I just think from my perspective, I just feel like the pods need to just be tighter. I feel like there was a lot of one-off runners against New Zealand, that type of thing. And when you're doing that, I mean, it's
They
literally
also had
setting
their
you up.
tactics, to be fair.
Yeah, that too. But like, just sending one-off runners is always a recipe for at least an opportunity to steal. So it just has to be, I think, very tight in the carrying. And something I always say when I play as well is just players need to kind of share that role of carrying. So, like, for example, you can't expect Jasper to carry 10 times in a row, in the pod that you are. Work as a pod, work together, stay tight. And usually, I mean, that usually answers enough questions at the breakdown, because if you tighten and you tight as a pod, I mean, as soon as you go down, there's already somewhere there to seal, and obviously you can't steal from there. So yeah, I just think staying tight will solve that. But like you said, we can't afford to just get over eager and play that 50-50 or offload pass all the time, and then he can't, and he goes down and the ball's been stolen. So there needs to be some structure here. We can't just underestimate these Oaks and think, it's like a Portugal where we can just throw the ball
they'll
around.
be up for the game. They'll definitely. I wouldn't say they'll be licking their lips, but they'll be up for the challenge. I mean, this could potentially be history for the Argentines to win it. So let's just go over to predictions. Obviously, neither of us are going to predict Argentina to win it. They haven't beaten us since 2018. Dude, I was looking the other day. Have they only beaten us 3 times in history?
I would lie if I knew the exact answer. I think I just remember the last time was the last time in South Africa.
No, in Mendoza.
Okay. Was it 2019? Yeah. Was it that 2019?
2018.
2018. Yes, I remember that. I remember, and then we beat. Yeah, okay, I remember.
But why does it feel like we've lost more to them?
It does feel like that. It does.
But because
I thought we've lost
obviously
more.
I could be wrong. Like I think there's been a couple of draws, maybe two draws or something like that. But when I was scrolling quickly through the history while I was making a video for my personal channel, I was like, am I being dumb? Have we only lost to these guys like 3 times? Or something I've missed, right?
Yeah.
But there hasn't been a lot of victories for the Pumas, and we are on a massive win streak. I think it's 8 in a row now for the Saffers. I'm gonna go controversial. I actually think we beat them by more than we beat them next weekend, because I think I've mentioned before, like Argentina fuels me with cracking under their own pressure, almost too emotional, and they've lost many times at home. I think it's very overrated to play in Argentina. I think they're a great team when they play away from home. I'm going with a little juicy 16-point victory, 16 to 19-point victory for the Springboks.
Okay. Yeah, like you said, you never know what you're gonna get when you go to Argentina. Like you could get the side where the Wallabies are beating you, and also then leading the second test, looking comfortable, and then all of a sudden they turn up and play prime All Black rugby. You don't know what you're going to get. So, but look, like you said, it's most likely the case where they start off firing, the crowd is rowdy up for it, and then in the second half they just start to dip, because obviously they don't have the depth that we do. So I'm also not going to say it's going to be, I think it will be tight the first half, maybe first 10 minutes, second half, but then I just truly believe we run away with it. So I can see us winning by about 13, 14 points.
Yeah. I just think we'll have the physical upper hand, and when you have a blatant physical upper hand, it's tough for any team. And I think the Springboks are kind of in that place where we are embracing the favorite squad at the moment. Finally, after all these years, something that we've been calling for. you know, and we are due for a battering on a team. Like we haven't put in a full 80-minute performance where we really smashed the team. Like we should have beat the Wallabies. We should have been the ones putting 70 points on the Wallabies. If you looked at the first game, and I think it's time for us to really go out and show what we are worth and have a convincing statement victory to win the rugby championship. That would be glorious.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and obviously I just wanted to ask you, because obviously this has been saying like why Sia was brought along, and obviously they wanted to give him a chance in the coach's box. Do you think that's a fantastic idea? I think it's awesome because it just teaches a player a new perspective of what the coaches look for from the coach's box, and they can apply that into their game. I think it's great.
Not only that, but also for future generations. If we look at the impact that Rassie has had on South African rugby as a whole, I'm thinking he's thinking even further. Let's take this what we've built in these past 6 years that I've been involved. I've built these guys from the start of these 6 years. They know my knowledge. Now they can sit in the box, see what we do, so that they could potentially, in the near future, join the coaching staff, know from literally firsthand what we're taking forward. They can become future Springbok coaches, see what Rassie did, the way that he thought about certain things in game tactics, what I'm talking about. So, yeah, obviously what you said, and then just to add on it what I said. So I think it's like a two-way street on it all. Well, there's two lines leading up to the same destination. But yeah, that's my perspective on it. That's why we saw Dwayne literally in the coaching staff for, was it the Irish test in the World Cup? And then all of a sudden now he's part of the coaching staff, because he knows the ins and the outs. He's been there, he's done it. And I think the same is for Sia. I mean, if you have an inspirational player like he's been, the leader that he's been on the field, the way that he speaks on the mic, you already know that guy will be able to really motivate a team if he was the coach. So you find to move over to Bledisloe?
Yeah, definitely.
First and foremost, I'm going straight to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen. Does the Wallabies have a chance?
No. I'll be
Not
real.
even with Fraser McReight back?
Nope. We're looking at, and people will say it's not the same All Blacks team. I get it. Whatever. But what I'm saying is the same way a wounded Springbok is a very dangerous Springbok. Same thing for an All Black, and
maybe even more.
Yeah.
Not even maybe, even more.
Yeah, so I do expect a very big performance from the All Blacks. And that, look, I just don't think the Wallabies are there yet. Many people think that they can get there, and that's cool. And maybe they can. But I just think as of right now, not yet. I just think if you look at the experience, there's way more experience in that All Blacks team, way more talent in my opinion, a lot more passion, and I think there's just a lot more in general in that All Blacks team. So I do expect a very convincing win against. Obviously, look, first 30 minutes, it's a Bledisloe rivalry. I do expect the Aussies to stand up somewhere. If not, then there's big problems, because when it's your rival, you have to show something. Like, something. You think there's a chance?
No. I actually believe it's going to be a tighter game. Okay. I actually think the Wallabies will be up for it. I don't think they'll let that history-making defeat get to their head too much, because you can't allow that to be. You're in a very vulnerable position at the moment. For them, they could take a lot of positives from that first 30 minutes. When the three of us were here talking about that game, we said how good they were in that first 30 minutes. If they can say, okay, we're going to build on that first 30 minutes, they could have a very, very good performance. You saw the potential of what they could be, and they're only, 2 months into their rebuild, right? So they'll be up for the rivalry. I think the fact that Fraser McReight is back is massive. Rob Valentini is playing some very good rugby. The fact that they have Angus Bell and Taniela Tupou there, massive for them in terms of competing physically. I still don't know why Tate McDermott is not starting, but I mean, it is what it is. A big loss is obviously Carlo Tizzano. Like, he's been sensational since he's come in. Like, if they had a loose trio of Rob Valentini, Fraser McWright, Carlo Tizzano, they might be shit as a team, right? That Lucy's is also up there. That is up there, loose trio. But what I'm thinking about is, like, they've had almost so much more to prepare for, or less to prepare for, sorry, than the All Blacks have, because the All Blacks have just been playing the same team over and over and over again. Like, what is going on with Razor? Why is he not switching his team up? I do not get it at all. Like, if you look at how many teams, how many players have we started in all of these games? Probably near to 30, right?
Yeah, a lot. So.
Well, All Blacks, I'm pretty sure they are close to about 20. It's been the same 15 literally every single week from England till now. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, at least he brought Bowden back into the starting lineup. I mean, you can't. I mean, obviously, it was a smart enough decision to have Bowden come off the bench against the Box, because you want him to be able to also be involved in that loose play, a bit more fresh. But I think you have to have Bowden starting. I do say a 10, but obviously Razor thinks otherwise. But yeah, the thing with the All Blacks is maybe they're building for continuity, which clearly they are struggling with at the moment. But yeah, I think I heard Ardie Savea speaking, obviously in the press conference, and he just spoke about how they're just not clinical enough, and I completely agree with that. I just think they need to take their chances. And this All Black team that we remember used to be so good in the last 20 minutes of a game, where it's like, even if you had a 20-point lead, which we did at Loftus in 2018, and we threw it away in the last 20 minutes because the All Blacks were so good in the last 20. And we just haven't seen that since Razor's taken over. Obviously, in that English test at Eden Park, it was a different story. I think they did kind of bring it up a level. But yeah, I think the All Blacks have to make a statement here. And the only thing I worry about with the Wallabies is, yes, they had a very good 30 minutes, but I just worry about what having that lead does, and throwing it so badly away that you basically got put 67 points on you. That can either motivate a team to the max, or that can break a team. And I'm hoping it motivates the Wallabies, because as much as we have our beef with Australians, I mean, it's just a natural thing, I still want to see the Wallabies a force in world rugby, because we love it when the All Blacks, Springboks and Wallabies are competitive, because it makes for a good tournament. So I'd love to see them back to their best. So if it's a tight game, that's a bonus, because I just want both teams to find something.
I mean, imagine if you have 3 competitive nations, 3 out of the 4. It would be great if 4 out of the 4 were competitive for the rugby championship. And you're like, we don't even know who's going to win. It doesn't feel predictable to say, for instance, the Wallabies should be winning this rugby championship. Yeah. My big thing is still, like, I don't know if I just, like, it's not that I hate the guy, but it sounds like I hate the guy. Why is Rieko Ioane playing at outside centre once again? You literally saw how much better he was on the wing against us. Okay, well, there you go. Outside centre once again. Just doesn't make sense, right?
I think Razor's being very stubborn with his team selections. Like, there's no, he won't budge. It's just, and that can be a downfall. I mean, obviously everyone wants continuity, but Rieko is not the same 13 he was, I think, 2 years ago. He was a good 13. I just think now there are other 13s in New Zealand that probably could do a better job. And obviously Rieko Ioane on a wing, nothing wrong with it. He's still a great player. So, yeah, I think there needs to be, we'll see after this weekend. I won't comment yet, but obviously you can't really take too much beating the Wallabies at the moment. Because obviously they are in a rebuilding phase, a struggling phase. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Okay. So official prediction. How many points you going?
I think the All Blacks win by 20 plus.
20 plus. Okay.
Mm.
No. All Blacks by 11. All Blacks
Fair.
by 11. In Sydney, I just think the Australians might put up a fight. I don't think the All Blacks will have that much of a physical. They won't have that physical dominance over them necessarily, and I think the fact that Fraser McReight is back, like the loose 3-0 battle will be absolutely insane, and I think Noah Lolosio is finally due for a decent game. So yeah.
So,
I mean, I've said 11 points now, more out of hope that I don't want to see another thrashing. Because I like Joe Schmidt, but if he takes another beating like that, I don't know how long he's staying there. They should just back him.
But that's a problem, man. That's a problem. Like you said, they should back him, because you can't just keep chopping and changing, because that will wreck players. They don't know where they stand with each coach that comes in. There has to be some form of stability, because obviously it's not coming from the higher up. It has to come from management. So, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's wrap it up.
Well, I just wanted to quickly. We'll quickly push this podcast past 40 minutes. Obviously, before people say, why aren't you talking about Currie Cup? Quick thoughts on that. I mean, I think they deserve some. I mean, it's going to be two decent teams, I reckon. Obviously, my team's not in it, your team's not in it, but who cares? Sharks, Lions, what are your thoughts?
I'm going with the Sharks to win it, right? And I made a video yesterday talking about the URC. And I said, I think the Sharks are going to have a good season in the URC, because if you look at the way that they ended the URC season, like the form they were on, they were crazy good. They won the Challenge Cup as well. They took their form into that. They've gone into the Currie Cup after a break. They've gone to the final now. They've beaten a full-strength Bulls team, except for, obviously, the South African players, right? But that's Curtly Arendse, Kanan Moody, Marco van Staden, right? And John Grobler. And Ron Norke. Yeah, but then you look at who they are missing. Right?
Yeah, no, 100%. It's full credit. They beat a decent Bulls team, no excuse.
You talk about the depth that they've built. Obviously, the Moolah has been talking. But if you talk about depth building, and you bring in Trevor Nyakane, you bring in Andre Esterhuizen. I mean, your centers are so stacked that you play Ethan Hooker on the wing.
That's crazy.
It's criminal almost.
Look at who they've started. They've started Andre Esterhuizen and Lorenzo Julius, which is I'm keen to see how that guy goes in a final against the Lions, because I think the Lions are going to bring it 100%. So
yeah, well, obviously the reason that he's starting is because Franco Fente is banned for 2 games.
Yeah, obviously, but I'm just keen to see what he does, because there's so much talk around this guy that I actually don't want that, because like the way Willemse came up, the way Sasha came up, there was talk, but it wasn't loud. But especially some pages, they're putting so much like pressure on this kid to be the next.
Yeah, but he's embracing it. The guy runs out on the field and he looks cocky as hell.
Yeah, I want to see him perform, because obviously if he can be a good, I mean, then again, there's another option for the Boks in the future. So
yeah, and the thing is, he had a good little World Cup for the young Springboks. To be fair, like he was one of the standout players. But I'm backing the Sharks to take it purely based on. I would rather want the Lions to take it, by the way. But I'm backing the Sharks because I think they're going to take that momentum and go into the URC. And I made a top 6 video, and I actually had the Sharks.
It's not crazy. Top 3. It's not crazy. You know why? Because like what I saw in that Challenge Cup final was a team that was hungry. A team that wanted to perform. A team that
knew they were getting criticized. That's what I saw.
Like it was, I've never, like in a final, I've never seen such a demolition job in my life. It was just carnage. It was one-sided.
Except for that first, 10 minutes?
Yeah, but after they defended that superbly.
I think No, go. Continue, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think the Sharks have to build in that going into the URC. And if they win this Currie Cup, I do worry, will they be the top side?
Well,
Like,
then all of a sudden, all they still need to win is the URC and the Champions Cup, right? Like,
with their squad, and I say this not disrespectfully, I think they should be storming to a semi-final, like storming.
easily. That's why I've got them third, and I don't, people are kind of writing off the Sharks because they had a bad season, bro. They are gonna be like the All Blacks when prime 2015, when if you somehow pulled off an upset victory, you're getting hurt. You are getting hurt. They've been written off last season because they had a very, very bad season, right? Like, let's not look past it. It was a disgraceful season.
Mm-hmm.
They are coming out to say, listen, that's not happening again.
Mm-hmm.
That is not happening again. That they've brought in their players. They've got Oxen Che, Bongi Manambi, Vincent Koch, right? Guess who's the replacement? Trevor Nyakane and Mchunu, who also played for the Springboks. Like, he's also already got a cap, right? And that guy's a hungry guy. He's just a crazy man. He's a crazy guy on the field. Right? Then you still have Yeben Etzebeth and who's the 5? I can't even remember.
There's lots of that. I swear they've swapped their 5s many times.
Yeah, but, then you have the hype of a Vincent Chichuka, right? And then you get Brett that's already saying, well, the younger brother's better. Ethan Chichuka. Like,
Manuel.
Manuel. Where did I come?
It's been one of those days.
Bro, then you have that. Then you have Pepsi Buthelezi. Obviously also hungry. He's just made his debut for the Springboks. You know, like, and
and then you have Sia Kulisi. Yeah, flip.
By the way, just popping back in. Ruan Venter every now and again pops up a magical performance. Like, he just wanted I mean, that was just the forwards. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing a lot of talent that I just didn't mention. I'm sure somewhere there's a sneaky little.
Dylan Richardson plays for Scotland now, so he's an international.
Then they go to the backline. I mean,
Clark
even if you go through it.
It's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous.
On paper, it's not even a wild shout to say on paper they have a better squad than Leinster. Leinster does have a better squad, maybe.
I think Leinster has the best squad, and I think the Sharks have the second best squad. Purely because
I think Leinster might have the better starting lineup to some degree, right? Maybe. But I think the substitutions for the Sharks, like their squad depth, is better than Leinster's. Because if you look at who the replacements are, right? Okay, so you take out Gary Ringrose, right? Who comes in? McCloskey. Is it McCloskey? Does he play for them? I don't even know. Who's the replacement centre pairing there? Where now you've got the replacement Ethan Hooker, you've got the replacement Andre Estreisen or Franco Venter. I don't even know. You know, like, just the depth of it all. The one thing that they are missing is an actual 10. And
I still think Masuku is the right guy to keep at 10.
Yeah, but he was bad this Currie Cup. Well, he was bad last weekend. But I mean,
that's
he'll get back into it. He'll get back into it.
Jordan Hendrickson or Masuku. I think that's obviously their two major options.
By next season, we see Sasha playing there because he gets the big bucks. Not really, because he just signed a new contract with the Stormers. He just signed with the Stormers again.
I'm with you.
Anyway.
I think the Sharks do win the Currie Cup. I do. I think they're too strong. It will be close, but I still think they win. So
Noamba will probably already be halfway packing his bags to Cape Town with a smile. With his, this is Noamba after the final, even if they lose. Going to Cape Town, baby.
Yeah,
just chilling.
Life in Cape Town. And obviously Paul de Wet to the Bulls as well. Apparently in that whole sequence, which.
I mean, I like Paul de Wet. I think he's a solid. He's just a stable player. Like, just gets the job done, right? But give me Noamba every day of the week above Paul de Wet. Like, that's. Give me Noamba and JC Pretorius.
I think Noamba suits you guys like so well. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I would
Very
pay
nice.
out of my own pocket to get JC Pretorius. I'd buy myself.
I do think he'll move at some point. I think there is a move somewhere for him. But with the Lions kind of finding some strength again, but it's just the funds. They don't have the funds.
Yeah, but
That's
why
the
would you
issue.
want to live there when you can live in Cape Town? I think JC Pretorius, what, didn't he grow up in Cape Town?
No. JC Pretorius went to what a school? RTS Middelberg.
I went to a technical school.
I know this because obviously I now well partners with someone whose father lives in Middelburg, and apparently they know JC and stuff. So yeah, which is cool.
Fair
so
enough.
that's how I know that. Yeah.
Okay, Brevin, shut up. Let's end it.
Yeah, let's we did go over time. Sorry, I just want to
Thank everyone for watching. We do appreciate you guys, and we will see you. Oh my goodness, when was Monday? Thank you. Bye.